And after that, b6 by black, preparing for bishop to b7. And sometimes modern engines and theory criticize the move b6, which is slightly loosening compared to c6 or h6. But in reality, that's a standard attempt to solve the bad bishop problem at the time. Okay, so now after that, here Rubinstein decides to exchange on d5, and then he develops his bishop to d3. Okay, so now bishop to b7 by black, and finally Rubinstein castled long side, preparing to launch a pawn march towards the black king. And now here white can continue this game by capturing this knight on f6 by bishop takes f6. This is because after knight takes f6, now comes bishop to f5, attacking this rook. And let's suppose if this rook goes to c7, here white can continue this attack by knight to b5, attacking this rook. And again you can see the only square left for this rook is c6, and finally knight takes a7. And you can see white is better. But in the actual game, after after rook to e8, here Rubinstein missed that move, and he decides to capture on c5, which is a mistake because after black captured this pawn, you can see black will end up with two powerful connected pawns, which can create some trouble to white in future. Uh, but instead of this, here black decides to capture this by rook takes c5. And after that, he brings his knight to b5, preparing for knight to d6. So to stop this, bishop to a6 by Richard, and now obviously white cannot go for knight to d6 due to the threat of bishop to d3, which will pin this queen and this king. So to stop this, here Rubinstein brings his queen to a4, targeting this bishop. And since as we previously sees that white is threatening this, so to stop this, he captured this knight. And now here black can continue by capturing this pawn, but instead he goes for rook to e7, and that's a mistake because now white can start pushing these pawns. But Rubinstein also missed that, and instead he goes for rook to d4. Basically, he's preparing to double this rook, and after that going to e8, guarding this e4 pawn. Okay, so now knight to d6 by Rubinstein attacking this rook, and now it's better to just slide this rook to d8, which is obvious, but instead here Richard blunders by pushing b5. Yes, he is targeting this queen, but in this position the final move by Rubinstein is, yeah, now I just want you all to pause the video and try to find it by yourself. And if you find the move knight takes c8, then congratulations, you are a genius. And in this position, Richard resigned. This is because, let's suppose if black captured this queen, now comes knight takes e7 check, king takes f8, yeah, king to f8, and after that, rook takes d7. And you can see white will be a material up. And let's suppose after knight takes c8, if he decides to capture this knight, then simply queen takes a7, and in the next move, rook to c1 is coming. And again, you can see white will be a knight up. Like this video, and I will see you in the next one. This is your host Bison signing off. Bye bye.